Good morning, participants. Very good and happy New Year to you all. On behalf of you, I welcome Dr. Suresha for today's morning session on NEP 2020. Dr. Suresha sir is presently serving as Deputy Director Academics in iNURTURE Solutions Education Private Ltd in Bengaluru. Sir completed his undergraduation at Mysore University in EC department and post-graduation in VTU Belgavi in Computer Science department. And here, Sir completed his doctoral research in VTU, that is Visual Technical University in Computer Science specialization. Sir worked at various capacities in industry as well as teaching profile. His experience spanning around 35 years, and Sir worked as principal, professor, and other teaching assignments in various engineering colleges. And right now, Sir is working as a Deputy Director of iNURTURE Solutions Education Private Ltd. Sir completed, that is produced 3 PhD students, and presently he is grading 3 PhD students into his credit, and he has published around 32 international journals and conferences and 12 national conferences. And Sir also write 4 book chapters and involved many academic related activity like incubation, sorters, and other things. Sir also handled many technical sessions in various engineering colleges across India, like in topics like e-governance and the NEP, like that. And he has more collaboration with the industry, like Toyota, Laskar, Cisco, Nutella Innovation, like that. Sir is a very much a resourceful person. So on behalf of Murugappa Polytechnic and Department of Mechanical Engineering, and on behalf of all the participants, I have great pleasure in welcoming Dr. Suresha sir for today's morning session. Welcome, sir. Very happy New Year.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Then now the session
is nice introduction.
Thank you, sir.
So shall I proceed, sir? Sir, let me know my screen is visible and also my audio is have clarity.
Yes, yes, sir. Both are okay, sir. Audio and video both.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. So, very good morning to all the participants and organizers, particularly K.S. Sekhar was coordinating with me for more than 15 days. Thank you, Dr. K.S. Sekhar. And let me wish you a very happy New Year 2022, because on the first day, first session he has given to me. And
yes,
I hope that the whole year will be a bright future and you will enjoy the whole, academically you will enjoy the whole new year 2022. And at the same time, the main important thing is National Education Policy 2020. Wherever you go to any universities, any part of India, nowadays everybody is talking about NEP 2020, what's going to happen, how they are going to implement it and all those things. Okay, so in this NEP 2020, in my presentation session of almost more than an hour, I will try to explain concepts of NEP 2020. You can understand what are the concepts of NEP 2020 in a much better way. It's like an ocean, it's up to you how much you can understand. It depends on the individual. And what they expect. NEP 2020 expects something from all the teaching fraternity. So in that direction, you can think of enhancing your skills so that evolving yourself, that also you can plan yourself for the future. Because unless and until you enhance your skills, there is no scope if NEP 2020 is implemented. And also, if it's more than 1.5 year time, the NEP 2020 is introduced, so that now I will give you the status as of now. What is the implementation status also? So you can understand NEP 2020, you can evaluate, you can plan for your future, and also what is the stage of implementation, that also you can understand. And the very important point in this is See, when it has been introduced on 29 July 2020, I developed interest and fascinated by NVP 2020 and started accumulating the information or started collecting the information from different portals and newspapers. So my source of information is different portals or websites and newspaper, okay? That's how I started, and I'm compiling things in a flow so that you can understand in a better way. And apart from that, wherever it is possible, I'm providing the images so that you can have better understanding of the concepts. So let me complete the presentation in a flow so that at the end, if you have got any doubts, so we can have interaction, and I will try to solve your queries if any. Okay. So let me wish Happy New Year 2022. So outline of presentation is evolution of education policy, use of technology, key takeaways, principles of NEP 2020, vision, a new forward looking vision for HEAs, current problems for playing HEAs, institutional restructuring consolidation, major reforms in higher education, key changes to the current system, digital drive, thrust, future HEAs. See here, HEA is the perspective of HEA is all degree colleges we have taken. So we are not constant. I mean, NEP 2020 will not segregate. It's a degree college, it's a diploma college, it's an engineering college. No, all degree colleges will be under the category of higher education institutions. Okay, that I'm making it very clear. And in my presentation, I'm going to talk about related HEAs only. So I'm not going, because NEP 2020 has got two major divisions. One is higher education institutions and the other one is schools. I'm not going to discuss anything about schools. I'm going to talk about only higher education institutions. And here also very often I'm using the word diploma, okay? Diploma course or diploma certificate. So don't compare that with the existing diploma polytechnic college. So that I'm making it very clear, because still we are not received any guidelines from either UGC or AICTE regarding what will be the status or what will be the terminology for the existing diploma colleges. Okay. And apart from this, I'm going to discuss many more concepts, but I've limited this slide to, outline of presentation to only one slide. So evolution of educational policy, University Education Commission, Secondary Education Commission, First Education Commission under Dr. T.S. Kothari. This is very, very important. And second one is National Policy on Education in 1986. And the third one is this Dr. K. Kasturangan Commission. So till today in India, we are having only 3 commissions. The third one is the latest one. The composition of committee is Dr. Kasturangan K. Vasudha Kamath, Manjula Bhargav, Ram Shankar Kuril, T.V. Kattimani, Krishna Mohan Tripathi, Mazhar Asif, M.K. Sridhar, Rajendra Pratap Gupta, Shekila T. Shamshu. And I'm making it very clear what is the role of central government and what is the role of state government. Why I'm doing this is because I'm giving webinars across various states across India. In some states, there is very good progress of NEP 2020 implementation, and in some states, it is progress is very, very negligible. So in this aspect, many participants were asking why it is there it is like that and here it is like this. So there's a reason I'm giving the clarity, what is the role of central government and what is the role of state government. The central government is responsible for the major policy on higher education and for the coordination and determination of standards in higher education institutions. So it is responsible across all India, and the organizations through which central government is acting is Ministry of Higher Education or Ministry of Education, sorry, MOE, and AICTE and UGC. These are the 2 organizations we are familiar as far as HEAs is concerned. That's what I mentioned. State government for their part are responsible for the establishment of state universities and colleges and for providing grants for the development and maintenance. So in each state, there is a Department of Higher Education that will be responsible as far as the implementation of NEP 2020 is concerned. So now we'll take up NEP 2020. So let's together explore the future functional technical education in future, how it is, what is the expectations of NEP 2020 that we are going to see. So NEP 2020 concentrates on holistic development of individuals with a focus on development of higher abilities, 21st century skills and lifelong learning skills. Of course, the major verticals are quality, equity, inclusive, knowledge creation, and innovation. And it is majorly concentrating on agriculture education, vocational education, teacher education, as far as faculty is concerned. This is very, very important. And technical education. Technical education includes your polytechnic and engineering both. So what will be the future of higher education institutions? So that we'll see here. So first, let us see why NEP is required. NEP aims to make it easier to set up new quality of higher education institutions which will be at par with global standards. This is very, very important. Our standards should be at global level. The aim must be for India to have an education system by 2040 that is second to none. We wanted to become #1 in the world by 2040. So equitable access to all high quality education, highest quality education for all the learners. So learner students should get quality of education from all the institutions across India. That's the aim. The objective is revamp the higher education system, create world-class multidisciplinary higher education institutions across the country, increase gross enrollment ratio at least by 50% by 2030. This is very, very important. See, somewhere they mentioned that it is 2030, in some other place they mentioned as 2035, but I have not manipulated the data as it is I have taken, because I told you the data I have taken from different portals, so I have kept it as it is. So we have to get the guidelines from Ministry of Education. You should engage faculty and students with local communities. Very, very important. So real-time problems we have to take society into confidence. Real-world problems, real-time problems, and we should work in collaborative, inclusive, and cross-disciplinary ways. So NEP concentrates on this collaborative way of education. It concentrates. It must generate human capacity to build a new knowledge and foster innovation. So our capacity, human knowledge has to increase. At the same time, it should empower the students to become entrepreneurs and creative innovators. So innovation and entrepreneurship also getting more importance. So key takeaways from NEP 2020 is shift from rote learning to practical learning, skill-based learning in school, organized preschool education, flexibility in selection of subjects, more focus on tech-based learning, very important. Focus on teachers' learning. Unless and until teachers are updated, they can't inculcate skills to the students. So enhancing skills of faculty is very, very important. Internships and workshops, of course, it is applicable for both teachers and faculty, students. So we are talking about technology. Where all you can use the technology. Technology, you can use it in education and planning, teaching and learning assessment, administration and management, regulations, self-disclosure, and minimum human interface. As far as affiliation is concerned, in future everything will be in online and minimum human interface. So physical inspections will be reduced unless and until it requires. E-content in regional languages. So that is nowadays, I think you have heard of this. 11 languages have been identified to have courses. Virtual labs, probably you are using one. NETF, I'm going to discuss in detail about NETF, digitally equipping schools, teachers, and students. Nowadays, everything will be in online. So we should have internet and we should have power to make use of technology. So AICD is organizing many events as far as NEP 2020 is concerned. One such event that they have organized on March 3rd, 2021, very recently. So just I have taken one slide, augmenting learning through digital education. So principles is very important. Critical thinking and creativity, unique capabilities, emphasis, conceptual understanding, use of technology in teaching and learning, and removing language barriers, very important. Community participation. People around you should also work along with you people. Equity and inclusion. Respect for diversity and local context. Continuous review, of course, that is very much required. If you are, unless until you update your curriculum and syllabus, you will not be updating you are not following the new technologies. The vision of the policy NEP 2020 is instill among the learners a deep-rooted pride is being an Indian. First of all, we should say that we are an Indian. Develop knowledge, skills, values, all these things are very important, and we should have our right to sustainable development and living. So if you want to have a good living, you have to sustain yourself, and these two are the human rights, and we should be at par with global. So let us see what is the current reality. A severely fragmented higher educational ecosystem with more than 50,000 educational institutions. So nowadays everything is fragmented. Poor learning outcomes and development of cognitive skills are very poor. Rigid separation of disciplines, a lack of research in most of the universities. Research work is not going on. The regulatory system is not empowered to close down fake colleges. I think in the last year, of course, now we are in 2022 first day. In June, July, Ministry of Education or AICTE has identified around 62 fake universities and they have given instructions to close. So that is the effect of NEP 22. India today has 903 universities. Nearly 93% of the students are going to central and state universities. The state universities are pathetic in terms of research quality. We always talk about percentage of GDP going into research. How much percentage of money we are going to spend on research. So this in India, this statistics for year 2020, this taken from Department of Science and Technology, Government of India. See, they are spending monthly around 95,000 crores only we are spending on research. It is very, very, very minimal. We have to spend more. And if you break up that, central government is spending only 45.4%, private sector is 36.8%, 6.4% state sector, 4.6% public sector, and 6.8% higher education. So the amount of that has been spent on research is very, very less. So government is planning to spend more on research. So institutional restructuring and consolidation. If you want to implement NEP 2020, there are some restructuring as takes place and also consolidation of universities or institutions also has to take place. To do this, the main thrust of this policy in higher education is to end fragmentation of higher education by transforming higher education institutions into large multidisciplinary universities, autonomous colleges, and HEAs, each of which will aim to have around 3,000 or more students. So in future, throughout India, one ecosystem will be followed. And the university, they will have either university, each institution may be an university, or it may be an autonomous college, or it may be a cluster of colleges. So this is what they are expecting. By 2040, all higher education institutions shall become multidisciplinary. What is this multidisciplinary? I am going to discuss. So in this direction, first all institutions should become multidisciplinary and then gradually they can increase the student strength. If your infrastructure supports more than the requirement, you can increase the student strength also. So the year in higher education should be increased from 26.3% that was there in 2018 to 50% by 2030. This is very, very important. Multidisciplinary education and research university, MERU should increase. They are going to plan one MERU, that is multidisciplinary universities in every district of each state. So this will be at par with IIMs and IIMs. So it is going to be a benchmark for everything. There is a kind of university they are going to plan in every district. And for this, government has to spend a huge amount. So holistic and multidisciplinary education, flexibility of students, multiple entry and multiple exist, UG program maybe 3 or 4 years, PG program for 1 or 2 years, integrated bachelor, it may be 5 years, MPhil to be discontinued. Here, if the UG program is 3 years, then the PG will be 2, that is 3 plus 2. If the UG program is 4 years, then the PG will be 1 year. So it is not rigid. There also the flexibility. Either it is 3 plus 2 or 4 plus 1. That's what it is. So integrated in both UG and PG together, it will be 5 years. So other major reforms, National Research Foundation, this we are going to discuss future in further. Integration of vocational teacher and professional education, setting up of new quality higher education has made simpler in case if you want to start a new university or a new college, procedure is made simple. And we'll see there is a lot of scope for universities. Standalone HEAs and professional education institutions will evolve into multidisciplinary, special education zone for disadvantaged regions, National Education Technology Forum, NETF. I said I'm going to discuss in detail about this. So government is going to plan for a separate university for Sanskrit. So this is one of the major agenda. And here one more thing is special educational zone for disadvantaged regions. This is for northeast area. Okay, northeast part of India, they can have special privileges. Single regulator for higher education. So all degree colleges will be under one organization that to be called as HECA that we are going to see. So common norms for public and private colleges. So uniform rules and regulations for both private colleges and government colleges. So you can involve private philanthropic partnerships. So supporters are to run the private institutions. You can go for a collaboration of philanthropic organizations. So fee fixation with regulatory power. Of course, even now it is the same thing is going to continue. Public investment in education sector to reach 6% of the GDP at the earliest. So this is very concern. So we have to wait and see how government is going to spend so much amount on education sector. So all types of institutions will have an option to run open distance learning or online programs provided specifically accredited to do so. So this is very, very important. So depending upon the grading, you can start online courses in case if you are interested. So that depends upon the grading, the accreditation you are going to get. So by 2025, the maximum number of colleges that can be affiliated by university shall not exceed 300. So now there is one university in India that has got more than 800 plus affiliated colleges. So government what is telling that in future, any university can affiliate only 300, not more than that. So in this direction, you can see that the statistics of 2019. So there are 903 universities, 39,050 affiliated colleges. So 39,000 affiliated colleges are there. If you apply for this, so you can have around 13,000 universities. Now we are having only 903 universities. There's an ample scope for growth. So it is up to the managements of various institutions. They can plan for their future growth. So by 2035, all colleges currently affiliated to universities shall secure accreditation and becomes autonomous degree granting colleges. So depending upon the grading you are going to get in affiliation process, it may be NAC or NBA. So you will get graded autonomy, that is academic freedom or administrative freedom and financial freedom. So very important. So the accreditation process grading plays a very significant role. So online self-disclosure based transparent system for approval. So affiliation becomes everything online. This is very important. The main thrust of NVP is large multidisciplinary universities, autonomous colleges, and higher education clusters. So in future, this degree college, this diploma college, this science college, this commerce college, that type of segregation may not be there. So that you can decide after. Get familiarity with what is multidisciplinary. So once the type of institutions, it may be university or autonomous college, in that college should be the research intensive. So that means they have to concentrate on 80% on the research and 20% on the academics. So it's a combination of both. Exclusive research is also not allowed. Okay. The reason is students should get familiarity about the research activities also. There is one thing. If it's teaching university, 80% teaching and 20% research. So it's a combination. So autonomous degree granting. From affiliated college, first they have to become autonomous degree granting college autonomous. And from here, they have to move either to TU or to RE. The accreditation system will develop and use appropriately different relevant norms for 3 degrees. Even accreditation process also for the 3 categories of colleges, it will be different. Land areas will be supported, more large land areas will be supported with substantially increase the student take. So if you got more land and also more buildings, infrastructure, so you can go student strength more than 3,000 also. That's part is there. The policy and its approach will be equally applicable to all HES across current streams and would eventually merge into one coherent ecosystem of higher education. So throughout India, you will have one type of ecosystem. The present complex nomenclature of HES in the country as deemed to be university, affiliating technical university, university will be replaced by university only. So terminology will get changed. Multidisciplinary education will focus on research and innovation by startups. Of course, now we are familiar with incubation centers and startups. Technology Development Center, this is nothing but Center of Excellence Center. Center in frontier area of research. So now also we are having research centers. Greater industry academic linkages, so industry academia collaboration should be better. Interdisciplinary research, including humanities and social science. So all your research activities should include humanities and social science. So in this direction, to implement NEP 2020, so what an higher education institutions has to do, mitigate opportunity costs and fees should be reduced, financial assistance and scholarship should be provided for all socially economically disadvantaged students, conduct outreach, so faculty should conduct outreach and students also should go for outreach programs because that will enhance the brand image of the organization. So once the brand image is there, your admissions will improve. That's what, in fact, according to me, outreach plays a very significant role as far as the growth of the organization is concerned. Make admissions process inclusive, curriculum should be inclusive. That means admissions and curriculum should be uniform for all types of students. There should not be any category or subcategory among the students based on the caste, based on the economy or those things. That's what they say. It's inclusive. So what do you mean by inclusive? You can have a separate session for that in case anybody is interested. Increase employability potential, of course, whatever education we are going to provide, employability should increase, and more courses in Indian languages and should be in bilingual. This we'll see that also, because 11 languages have been identified. Okay. Ensure all buildings and facilities which are wheel accessible and disabled friendly. Provide social, emotional, and academic support for all students through counseling and mentoring. Mentoring should be improved. Strictly enforce no discrimination and no harassment rules. So now we'll see what is the multidisciplinary definition. According to the dictionary meaning, combining or involving several academic disciplines or professional specializations in the field of study. So that we call it as multidisciplinary. But NEP 2020, what they say is department in languages, literature, music, philosophy, Indology, art, dance, theater, education, mathematics, statistics, and applied sciences, sociology, economics, sports, yoga and meditation, translation and interpretation, and other sub-subjects are needed for a multidisciplinary, stimulating Indian education and environment, and will be established and strengthened in all languages and strengthened in all education institutions. So this, what I'm telling is, under one university, if you are having all these departments, all these verticals, then imagine there will be no separate science college, arts college, and commerce college. Okay. So this is what multidisciplinary is. So faculties get familiarity with all these things and plan your future this thing. So in the business law 19 July 2021, there is one article called Integrated Engineering Courses of the Future. So interdisciplinary programs or courses of the future. Rigid this thing should not be there, confined to only one particular domain or one this thing. So that should not be there. So in the beginning itself, I told you that UG will be either 3 to 4 years. So here very important thing is multiple entry and multiple exist. When we are talking about this here, after completion of 1 year, if the student wants to leave and assume that he has attained certain number of credits, that is CGPA, whatever it is. So after completing, you will get a degree certificate as certificate. After 2 years, you will get degree certificate as diploma. After 3 years, of course, bachelor degree. In case if the UG program is 4 years, after 4 years, bachelor's degree with specialization. Maybe research or multidisciplinary education. That's how it is. So for the first year, they have to complete 36 to 40 credits. For the second year, 72 to 80. For the third year, 108 to 120. If it is the fourth year, 144 to 160 credits they have to finish. So academic bank of credit, this allows students to have mobility. They can move from one place to other place. They can take a break. And they can continue the education. And education may be a lifelong learning, lifelong process also. There's a chance. So here with this, I will explain. This is an ABC. Of course, it's a government organization. It is available in 11 languages, 11 local languages. I will give you the details. So suppose if an institution, there are two institutions, institution A and institution B. A student is there in institution A, completes 1 year. And this institution, assume that it has done its registration with ABC. Okay, then the students of institution A, they can deposit their credits in the ABC. Okay, so if a student after completing 1 year, whatever the CGPA is gained, that is going to deposit here, and he quits this institution and joins this institution. B takes the reference of whatever the credits he has deposited and continue education here. This is how the ABC is going to work. So online centralized system, credit accumulation and redemption, credit audit trial management, credit accounting. This is in brief. Futures are multiple entry and multiple exist, anytime, anywhere learning. Very important. So it involves mobility. Allows students to study at their own pace. So degree maybe, or some people may do it in 3 years or 4 years or in 10 years, depending upon their economic condition and their society or environment in which he is living. Transparency is maintained. Enable student mobility academic flexibility allows students to choose one learning path, recognize learning achievements. So this image is there in Ministry of Education. Previously it was called as MHRD, now we can see. So ABC talks about Bachelor of Liberal Education, converts credits into diploma, degrees and diplomas, studying any national or international institutions. If a foreign institution is done registration with the ABC, so that student exchange program you can have it. There is one thing. So notion, lifelong learning, merging of regular distance and online virtual modes, any subject, any combination, any credits, anything, any course you can study. That's a major advantage. It is a very challenge for universities to implement NEP 2020. It's not so easy. So PG courses, I told you, if UG is 3, then PG is 2. If EG is 1 year, PG is 4 year, UG is 4 year, then PG is 1 year. Either it's 3+2 or 4+1. Of course, integrated will be 5 years. So in the first year, they have to complete 36 to 40. If it is a 2-year PG, then he has to complete 72 to 80. If it is a PG, of course, number of credits will be defined by the university. This is the one I was talking about, this Meru, this type of universities. It's a government university which is going to be opened, one in each district of all the states across India. And it maintains standards of IITs and IIMs, very important. And this is going to set the highest standards for multidisciplinary education. Meru is going to be a benchmark, and it is going to develop standards for multidisciplinary. So institutional development plan, this is very, very important because previously, if you're accredited colleges, you have got familiarity with strategic planning. The same way here, they will call it as institution development planning. So it should integrate its academic plans, growth, everything, the real growth, maybe micro, macro, 5 years growth or 10 years growth or yearly growth, everything should be mentioned in institutional development plan. Of course, members are board members, institutional leaders, faculty, students and staff, alumni, everybody can share it. So all HEs will have mechanisms and opportunities for funding the top centered clubs. So NEP 2020 says that you have to start club activities in the domain of science, mathematics, poetry, language, literature, debate, music, yoga and sports. Of course, faculties will be either mentors or guides for these clubs. Open distance learning. So nowadays we are under the presumption of distance learning courses are not of the quality and it's not up to the standards. But once NEP 2020 is going to be introduced, they say even distance learning courses or open distance learning maintain the highest quality. That is what their aim is. Okay, creating a lifelong ecosystem with online learning. This will be the future. Regular course of education, whatever it is there, it may vanish in future. We don't know, but we have to wait and see. So there's an article on Hindustan Times on 26th August 2021. So we are talking about internationalization also because very, very important. International collaborations are all very important. The objectives of internationalizations are to make India attractive study destination. Foreign, we have to attract foreign students also, to foster international competencies. So we should have faculty and students who have got very good competency, to develop global mindset of our learners, to promote active linkage between Indian and foreign higher education institutions, to improve global ranking, the internationalization indicators. So we wanted to become, or we wanted to achieve the role of Vishwaguru by 2040. In this direction, all universities or education institutions should have an international student office. So that will be dealing with either research or teaching collaborations with faculty and students, or program where credits acquired in foreign universities will be permitted and counted for the award of degree. This also can be taken care. So during that time, when it has been introduced, our education minister was Ramesh Pokhriyal. He has said that selected universities from among the top 100 universities in the world will be facilitated to operate in India. That means top 100 universities, foreign universities can have branches in India. So that is again, he has announced that on 12th August 2020. So in this direction, campuses in India, 8 foreign universities are willing to have branches. So there is an article in Times of India on 18 July 2021. Dual degrees from Indian foreign institutions soon. Again, Times of India, February 21, 2021. So student activities and participations are very important. So NEP 2020 concentrates on 360-degree growth of the students. So students has to participate in sports, culture and arts clubs, eco clubs, activity clubs, community service, etc. And organizations should support students from rural background with extra facilities. Of course, medical facilities should be available. So equity and inclusion are very important because it concentrates on that, especially said students should get all the importance. Teacher education, very important. Teacher education is vital in creating a pool of school teachers that will shape the next generation. Teachers must be grounded in Indian values, languages, knowledge, ethics, or ethos, traditions, including tribal traditions, while also being well versed in the latest advanced education and pedagogy. And by 2030, educationalists on multidisciplinary and integrated education programs will be in force. So faculties, those who are interested in languages or ethics or other professions also, they have to enhance their skills. The use of technology platforms such as Swayam and Diksha, Swayam for higher education institution, Diksha for schools. So a lot of online programs have been introduced with these portals. Okay. Of course, TET will be taken care. So some of the programs are going on in AICT, NITT at Chennai and NITT are organizations. So again, NITT at Chennai, a comprehensive training policy for teacher, technical teachers. So some programs are good. Train the mentors to mentoring. That also is going on. So those who are interested, you can join. This is integrating professional and educational into higher education. The policy aims to build a holistic approach in the preparation of professionals, very important, by ensuring broad-based competencies and understanding social human context and ethical compass. Ethics are going to be very important. So faculties who are interested in enhancing their skills, that is education ethics, education discipline, education for practice, can enhance and they will have prominence. So now let us talk about vocational education. Because previously vocational education is considered to be inferior, now NEP is going to remove that and a lot of importance is given to NEP. And there is an organization called National Committee for Integration of Vocational Education is going to be established to take care of all vocational educations. So this is very important. National Research Foundation in the beginning also mentioned that NRF will competitively fund research in all disciplines across all academic landscapes, science, technology, social sciences, and art human capacities. So successful research will be recognized and where relevant and implemented those close linkages with governmental agencies as well as with the industry and private philanthropic organizations. So recently, Dr. Anil Sasrabuddha in one of the webinars, he said that NRF is going to be active from 2022 onwards, probably in the month of this month or probably April. Okay, and it's going to have a fund of 10,000 crores per year for the next 5 years. So it is going to fund around 50,000 crores in 5 years. So those who are pursuing PhD and those who are planning to do research, you can apply, prepare your proposals, keep it ready. Once they announce, you can submit proposals to National Research Foundation. It is going to take care of all the funding activities of your research. So regulatory board, so in future AICTE and UGC will not be there. In future you will have only one organization called Higher Education Commission of India, HECA. So this will have four verticals. National Higher Education Regulatory Council is going to concentrate only on affiliation process. National Accreditation Council will act. So in future, present NBA and present NEAC, okay, those things will not be there. You will have only NEAC once it has been implemented. Higher Education Grants Council, they are going to take care of grants to all the institutions. And General Education Council, they are going to talk about technology and POs and graduate rewards. So the first vertical is National Higher Education Regulatory Council, NHERC. It is going to take care of affiliation process. In future, affiliation process will be light but tight. So Accreditation Council, it's only one, it is to be implemented. So it concentrates on graded accreditation. And after 2040, it's a binary process. Till 2040, so next is graded accreditation and what grade you are going to get. Based on your grading, you are going to get administrative freedom, financial freedom, or administration freedom. So it depends on you. Third vertical is Higher Education Grant Council. It talks about, takes the responsibility of funding and financing higher education, and also disbursement of scholarships and developmental funds. The General Education Council is the fourth vertical. It concentrates on graduate attributes and also identifies specific skills that must be acquired during the academic programs. So what are the specific skills that should be present, or it's a must to learn by some academic programs. So commercialization of education is not allowed. So there are ways and means how the government is going to check the commercialization. So transparent mechanisms for fixing of fees with upper limit depending on their accreditation. If you have a better grading, you can correct the fees at higher set. Effective governance and leadership. So, sorry, one second. So graded autonomy, based on the autonomy, you can get the many advantages, probably the freedom, and second thing is fees, and also BOG is Board of Governors is going to play a very important role, and they are going to take the responsibility of preparing institutional development plan and human power and the future in which direction they wanted to grow. Everything will be decided by the BOG. So when you are expecting so many things from higher education, the central and state government has to spend 20% more for another 10 years on education system. Commercialization will not be there, but affiliation will be simple. So you can engage our philanthropic organizations for running the institutions. So this is very, very important. Rashtriya Shiksha Ayoga, or National Education Commission. The National Education Commission, the chairman will be the Honorable Prime Minister, and the Minister of Education will be the Vice Chairman. And it comprises of eminent educational researchers, union ministers, chief ministers of state, and eminent professionals. So NEC is responsible for the implementation of NEP 2020 in the central level or national level. So similar to this, Rajya Shiksha Ayoga, State Education Commission is there. So this is responsible for the implementation of NEP 20 in respective states. If there is a synchronization between National Education Commission and State Education Commission, you can see the growth of implementation of NEP 2020. If there is no synchronization, growth is not there. In some states, it is not there. You can understand. So National Education Alliance for Technology Need will be created to provide a platform for the use of technology to enhance learning, assessment, planning, and administration. Of course, it's a single portal for various educational technology solutions. So now I'm going to talk about NETF, very, very important. National Education Technology Forum, which will be a one-stop shop to discuss on strategies, the use of technology across all levels of education. There will be a gradual introduction of technology-based education from school level itself. So NETF is responsible for the implementation of technology even starting from the school level across India. Provide independent evidence-based advice to central and state government agencies on technology-based interventions, build intellectual and institutional capacities in educational technology. So NETF will have the following functions: to provide independent evidence-based advice to central and state governments, to build intellectual and institutional capacities in educational technology, to envision strategic thrust areas in this domain, to articulate new directions for research and innovation, to lay down standards of content, technology, and pedagogy for online and digital learning process. It will maintain a regular flow of authentic data from multiple sources, including educational technology innovators, and will engage diverse set of researchers. Very important. To conduct multiple and regional national conferences. The idea, identify technology interventions, and to categorize emerging technologies based on their potential and estimate frame of disruption, and periodically present this also analysis to Ministry of Education. So there was one suggestion that Ministry of Human Resource Development, MHRD, should be re-designated as Ministry of Education. So this suggestion was tabled on 29 July 2020, and it has been accepted by Honorable President Ramnath Kovind on 14th August 2020. So in future, Indian education services cadre comprising a special cadre of bureaucracy will be created, and the position of registrars will be occupied by these people. So now we have seen the expectations of NEP 2020. Wow, and I hope you will have a clear understanding of NEP 2020. And what are the expectations also now we have got. Now we'll see what are the issues that are related to NEP 2020. So knowledge jobs mismatch. So they are not specifying which knowledge or which technology that is very important. It may be artificial intelligence or cyberspace or nanotechnology that we have to see. 6% of the GDP has been set aside. So there's a very huge amount where we have to wait and see whether government is really going to spend 6% GDP on education. And this is very important. Currently, the internet penetration across India is 40.6%. So this is 2021 data. So we are talking about technology, we are talking about online technology, we are talking about digitalization. If there is a case, where we stand, if the internet itself is not there. So before that, we have to see the 24/7 power should be there, and remaining part of India should cover internet. So then we can talk about that. So this out of curiosity, I'm telling. So how big Indian internet industry? So internet industry is around 60 billion, out of which only education industry is 1 billion. There is ample scope for online education. So we have to make use of internet, and students has to make better utilization. So there's a scope for this. And there is one more. You can see in the last academic year, only 22% schools had internet. That means remaining 78% schools didn't had any internet. The reasons may be anything. So even in the corona pandemic, many organizations were doing online classes. How students have taken part, it matters. So outcomes of NEP 2020, attaining foundational learning and numeracy skills through the mission by 2025, teachers to be prepared for the assessment by 2023, inclusive and equitable education by 2030, board exams to test core concepts and application knowledge, common standards of learning in public and private schools. So these are the slides. I have got 3 slides here. Of course, recording has been going on from the coordinators. So each parameter I've taken in 1986 and I've compared with NEP 2020. So those who are interested, you can take this information and see how they are improved. So these are the images that are there in government portals, there is Ministry of Education. Same content I've taken and I've converted, put it into my slides in a different way so that you can have better understanding, and also better images I've provided. Okay, so all these things were probably government, sometimes it keeps, sometimes it will remove, and new information, that means old one is removed, but I have collected and I have put everything for you people. Now let us see what are the responses. Very important, because once it has been introduced, various academicians across India have responded for this. So what is that response we see? So chairman and co-founder of NIT University, India's much awaited new education policy in spirit harbinger of directional change and sectoral reforms is expected to open fresh avenues. S. Chan and Company, famous publication company, the attempt to hone a child from the foundational age of 3 years instead of 6 years brings a new education policy at par with the global developed nations. Flame University Vice Chancellor, National Education Policy 2020 is going to be a game changer for the future of the Education Commission. Received CEO, the new education policy has brought much awaited reforms for a long term overall of this system. PhD Chamber of Commerce and Industry, NEP is a revolutionary step in the history of education system by making way of school and college education to become more equitable, inclusive, holistic, flexible, very, very important. So Indian Institute of Art and Design, the National Education Policy 2020 is progressive in its outlook with its emphasis on multidisciplinary education. So NIMI's Global Access School of Continuing Education, we applaud the Indian government's vision to increase the gross enrollment ratio from 26.3% currently to 50% by 2030. With NEP 2020, the focus is back on ancient Gurukul pedagogy with multidisciplinary holistic education, applied learning and formative assessment. The new education policy is a well-written and forward-looking policy that has taken into account the views of every stakeholders in the field. Of course, this is from Green Acres Academy. So leverage edu, with the RTE now extending to 18 years of age, I am supremely confident that we will see a much bigger number of our population pursue higher education. So this was the different responses. Now it's more than a year we'll see what are the implementation status as far as national education policy is concerned. Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji said on Friday is fully committed to the national education policy which has launched on 29 July 2020, as assured that it will be implemented fully. So immediately after that, the Deputy Chief Minister of New Delhi also issued that will implement NEP 2020 and it will be operational by next year. The Union Budget 21-22 has already set ball rolling on the announcement of qualitatively strengthening 15,000 schools across India 2020. So NEP 2020 implementation seeks suggestions from the teachers. India Today on 23rd August 2020. The government is planning first phase of implementation of the national education policy. Sources told Money Control that the initial phase will be completed by April 2020-22. So we have to wait and see. It was there on Money Control on 15th September 2020. So from the Ministry of Portal, as far as implementation is concerned, and they have put some information on January 19, 2021. So what is that? We'll see. In accordance with the NDP, the mandatory continuous professional development of teachers should be undertaken over 50 hours, and for this, as many as 18 modules of 4 to 5 hours have been launched. For the foundational literacy and numeracy mission, the government has given in principle approval of establishment of national mission. In order to expand e-learning, the government has made use of Diksha platform, providing access to huge amount of e-content linked to the curriculum. Another point, mental health program. NCERT has signed an agreement with Indian Sign Language Research and Training Center so that Indian Sign Language Dictionary can be developed. Okay, and as far as CBSE's exams is concerned, competency-based questions complexity should be increased by 10% every year. But unfortunately, last 2 years there were no exams. Sorry. New education policy will pave paths for the Atmanirbhar Bharat that is there on Hindustan Times, February 19, 2021. Now, NEET exams will be attempted in Hindi and it is available in 11 languages. Okay, May 13, 2021, Economic Times. Government rolls out Sarthak for NEP 2020 implementation, that is students and teachers holistic advancement through higher education, quality education. So government is going to develop a live dashboard from June 2021, which identifies 181 tasks to be updated in live dashboard, but still it has not been done. It is there on May 17th. So merger of education regulators will happen by this year on 18 June 2021. This has been said by Chairman of AICTE, Anu Sahasrabudhe. That is, AICTE, UGC, and NCTE will be merged to become HECI, that is Higher Education Council of India. Education Ministry in progress of draft bill to set up Higher Education Commission. Dharmendra Pradhan is the new and present Minister of Education, Minister of Education. Committed to implement NEP 2020, says the new Education Minister, Dharmendra Pradhan ji. Government launches innovation training programs for 50,000 teachers. NEP 2020 Education Ministry advises implementation current academic year, Money Control, July 26th. Union Minister says making progress in NEP 2020 implementation, Hindustan Times, September 22. So for 29 July 2021, we have completed 1 year of implementation of, approval of NEP 2020. So in this regard, there was an event, of course, our Honorable Prime Minister, Narendra Modi ji has participated, and Minister of Education was there, and various reputed organizations were also present. They were talking about NEP 2020 implementation. It was there on 29 July from 4:30 onwards, almost up to 7 o'clock. So they were talking about National Digital Education Architecture. They are talking about multidisciplinary. Launches first year engineering program in Indian languages. So 11 languages that have been identified as Hindi, Telugu, Odia, Marathi, Bengali, Punjab, Tamil, Gujarati, Kannada, Malayalam, Assami, Urdu, and same thing. So they developed an AI tool to conversion from one English to other languages. So if the input is English with this test, the output 11 languages have been identified. If you select as Hindi, this text will be converted into Hindi. If you select Tamil from this whatever is there in English, it will be converted into Tamil. So this is the one AI tool they have developed. First year engineering programs in regional languages. Academic Bank of Credit that we have discussed. Of course, these also ABC we have discussed. NEPF also we have discussed in detail. Internationalization of higher education also we have discussed. Of course, credit transfer from international organizations. Indian Sign Language, that MOU we have told, we have informed. And this is the same thing. So IIT Delhi exploring steps to implement NVP, that is 29 July. NVP about openness, absence of pressure, Prime Minister, Economic Times on 30th July. Prime Minister annuals education schemes for an NVP anniversary. So on that, because of anniversary is inaugurated Vidya Pravesh, Indian Sign Language courses, Nishit 2000 and AI website. Academic Bank in regional languages rolled out by Prime Minister on 4th August. Engineering courses in 11 languages, very, very important, 30th July 2021. Now, engineering courses in regional language, check the list of colleges. You can see even in Tamil Nadu, Ratnam Technical Campus, Erode, Singatanar Engineering College, they have started first year programs from the current academic year in Tamil language. So totally 14 colleges across India have been identified and they have started their courses in local languages. There is an article on August 10, 2021. NEP 2020, first year later, March vision to reality. Academic Bank, of course, today. NEP 20, the baby begins to work after first year. Lays down a new template for next few decades. NEP 2020 is a reference. Karnataka becomes first state to implement NEP. 75th-year-old independence is turned out to be an education. In the Sun Times, 25th August. NEP hurdles, colleges seek formats and guidelines on courses and syllabus. Times of India, 28th August. Delhi University and universities in Karnataka set to implement NEP. Times of India. Non-technical courses in regional languages will benefit more students. Government directs central institutions to fill up vacancy posts by September 2022. This is very important. Those who are opting to join government organizations. So whatever the vacancies are there, that should be filled up by September 2022. There's an article on this in the Sun Times, 1st September 2021. Higher education in regional languages may not be easy. Center targets 5 areas of reforms in higher education. The 5 domains are education, finance, administration, accounting system, a central higher education data repository. So these are the 5 domains that have been selected by Center for the implementation. 19 colleges approved under Vidya Vistar, so to grow, to expand on their own. University is told to translate all literature into Indian languages. Government has said that all the universities, whatever is there in languages, in English, that has to be converted into Indian languages. November 4th. So it is from Twitter account, Minister of Education. To make learning teaching more joyful and engaging, story-based graphic novels have been developed to promote more critical thinking and problem-solving skills in learner. So critical thinking and problem-solving skills has been started from school levels. That is very important. So NEP 2020 lays emphasis on understanding specific actions, including creating an ecosystem for appropriate assessment and certification of disabled learners. NEP makes mockery of education system, section of academicians. It was there on December 24th. Again, the National Digital Education Architecture, NEDR, in fact, this we have discussed in the annual celebration of NEP 2020 and 29 July. Aim to achieve goals of NEP 20 through digital infrastructure of innovations in the education ecosystems, ensuring participation of all the relevant stakeholders. NEP 20 reimagines vocational education and envisions integration of vocational education into mainstream education. Twitter on December 28th. With NEP college looking into invest in skill training courses for students in December 28, 2021. So some of the UGC circular, it says that it can also be undertaken by higher education at their own levels, such as offering multidisciplinary programs, orientation to newly recruited faculty through faculty induction programs, inculcation of human values and professional ethics, frameworks for eco-friendly and sustainable campus in higher education institutions, empowering graduates with all the vital skills required for global employment and successful life, orientation and new students through student induction programs, socially responsible and committed engagement industry linkage, Divyagna friendly physical infrastructure translation of books, course materials for degree programs in Indian language. The vision of NEP 2020 to provide quality education to all the higher thinking, thereby making India a global knowledge superpower. Many HEs are proactively involved in implementing NEP 2020. It's very much true because many universities have come forward to implement NEP 2020. In order to ensure the vision of NEP 2020 gets translated into reality, I would request you to establish NEP cell in your institution. Multiple exit and entry points into higher education will be available from 2020-21. A four-year degree program will be introduced by 2021 for central and university by 2022. Academic Bank of Credit by December 2020. Common entrance tests will be February, March 2021. It's not happened. Probably this year it may happen. It has been outsourced to one of the software industry in Bangalore. Establishment of Higher Education Commission, EK 2022, it will happen. Indian institutions setting up campuses abroad, this will happen. Achieving 50% GDR, we have to wait and see. Establishment of National Research Foundation, NRF, we have to wait and see. So this is a timeline for all the implementation of NEP 2020 from 2021 to 2040. What are the first steps? We have to wait and see. So, transformation of affiliated colleges, out of the affiliated college over a period of 15 years. So, at present, if there is an affiliated university, if it is government, there are two chances: it's multidisciplinary autonomous, it may become, or it may become constituent college. If it is a private college, it can become, it may transfer into multidisciplinary autonomous, or it may transfer into join the cluster, or they have to close. There is no question of affiliation after 2035 or 2040. We don't know. But deadline, according to me, is 2030. Implementation in Tamil Nadu, NEP 2020 undermines the Tamil halt its implementations. Says DMK President and Chief Minister Stalin. Tamil Nadu forms panel to implement NEP by Digital Learning Network posted on September 10th. Won't allow NEP in Tamil Nadu DMK government. Firm and stand. DT next, May 15, 2021. Tamil Nadu boycotts Education Minister's virtual meet on NEP 2020. It was there on News Network, May 17, 2021. Tamil Nadu boycotts Center's meet on NEP 2026, opposed on 3-language policy, Deccan Herald, May 17th. Engineering a 2-language system. This is one of the articles in Hindu on July 19th. Very interesting article, we have to read. Somehow my faggot of my presentation. Conclusion is the new education policy is a good policy as it aims to making education system holistic, flexible, multidisciplinary, aligned to the needs of 21st century. The intent of policy seems to be ideal in many ways, but implementation, where lies the key to success? So your success depends on the implementation. So what they say, many people say that one more education policy is not required because it can reform itself and it can grow on its own. It is impossible to redesign students to fit into a system, but we can redesign a system for students. This is very, very important and very up for NEP 2020. So I think I have covered many topics of NEP, many aspects of NEP 2020. So these are my some references. So I do not do teaching training for a living. I leave teaching training as my doing, and technology has amplified the passion. So thank you. Thanks for your patience. Thanks for your patience listening.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. So, dear participants, if you have any query, you can unmute your mic and you can raise it to the expert who is available to take up the questions. So, it's a very informative presentation, sir, because it's a very big topic. In a nutshell, which fits to 1 hour duration, you have made the presentation. Very informative. We are thankful to you. Participants, if you have any query, you can unmute your mic and raise it to the expert.
Yeah, participants, if you have got any queries, please ask me. Participants, any queries for that matter, you can ask. It doesn't matter. out of my passion, I compared all this information and giving presentations and webinars on NEP 2020. So many people are inviting me to view this, and I'm sharing my knowledge.
Sir, in the very beginning, you told about the status of diploma course programs.
Yeah, that's what, sir. Sir, we are waiting for the guidelines from the Ministry of Education. Present diploma colleges and this, what is going to happen? How they are going to identify these diploma colleges and what is going to happen to that degree and all those things. We are waiting for the guidelines, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
As the NEP 2020 also
as
talks
a
about,
faculty of diploma engineering colleges, we are very uncertain about our how
correct,
it
sir.
is
You
going
are
to be.
absolutely right. You are absolutely right. I can understand
Yes,
that.
yes. Thank
Because many colleges, many diploma colleges have called me for talks, and when I have interacted with that, everybody was expressing the same concern. So how your future will be in diploma colleges, how they are going to take care of your interests, we have to wait and see and we have to wait for the guidelines.
Yes. Yes. Thank you, sir. Thanks.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Other participants, if you have any query, you can raise.
Thank you very much. Thank you, one and all.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Since there is no doubts and all, kindly share your presentation. It's very informative, sir. We will share with the participants if they are asking for it. Thank you, sir.
Definitely.
At the outset,
I'll send you the videos.
sincere thanks to you. You readily accept our invitation without any hesitation. You are the first one to confirm your participation in this 1 week program. Thank you very much, sir. On behalf of all the participants, I extend my heartiest thanks to you. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Dear participants, we have a break now. The expert for the second session will join by 11:25 sharply. Kindly join by 11:25. Thank you.